Hey folks, welcome back to Chord Dave live because it's Saturday and the thing broke. So I guess we should get started. Anyways, let's get into it and talk about guitars and things because why not? That's what we do around here. I have this beer that I'm drinking. It's a chocolate stout, organic chocolate stout from Samuel Smith's. I haven't tried it yet, so let's see. But anyway, Saturday night, so wherever you are, just launch it to you. Oh, oh God, that is like bubbly chocolate syrup. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, it's gonna be a long, it's gonna be a long drink. But hey, let's get into it. Talk about guitars and things. Great to see you all. Thanks so much for joining me for the Chord Dave Live, where we talk about guitars and music and all kinds of things. I'm sure lots and lots of you have seen guitar stories this week and music stories, and we'll talk about all those. Do leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. If you're new, you've got to be subscribed for at least 1 minute before YouTube will let you. So do that. Subscribe. Be subscribed, and we'll all be your best friends. If it is your first Chord Dave Live, please do say hello to us. We do love to meet you, and only 3 of the people here bite, so don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, let's dig into it and see how it goes and all that sort of stuff. Scott Bogfoot here, of course, first as he usually is. It reminds me of something I was supposed to do that I forgot. Anyway, never mind. It's fine. We'll get it done next week. Grandpa Joe's here as well. Hello, Scott and Dave. He says, hope everyone in attendance is having a great day. I hope you're having a great day, Grandpa Joe. Great to see you. And Al is here as well. Great to see you, Al. Hope all's good with you, my man. And James Severin says, hey, Chord Dave, my Irish brother. Great to see you, James. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Always good to see the folks dropping in early. By the way, the live chat opens about an hour before the live stream starts. If you do have an hour before it starts, come along and join the chat. Just say hello. We are mostly friendly. Chris from Coburg is here again. We're going to be... Chris makes us hungry. That's what he does. He says, wake up. I ordered pizza. Cheers. Yeah, well, I like pizza, so... Nice. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you being here, man. Thanks for joining us. And Ryan's here as well. Great to see you, Ryan. Buglips is here, says, I don't know about anyone else, but the background music is static for me, so it reads, starting soon stream is. Yeah, it's Yoda, exactly. 3-chord Yoda, for sure. Yeah, it's just, because when I export it, I'm too lazy to do it properly, so I make the video one, and then I just take a JPEG of that, and that's why that says, but hey. It's all good. It's all good. Michael Tresca, great to see you, Michael. Hope you're doing well, man. It's always great to see you in the live stream, so thanks for joining us. Michael says, I'm at a buffet. I'm at the buffet waiting on a Mongolian grill to be cooked, celebrating my younger daughter's 12th birthday. That's cool, Michael. Well, hopefully it's been cooked by now, because I think that comment was quite a while ago. But thanks, man, for joining us. Scott reminding you, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, wait around for a minute, and then you can chat with us. Michael says, I got myself a Firefly double cut with 2 P90s to my door, $200, and came set up well. That is cool, Michael. Yeah, one of those brands I'd love to check out. It's just not as easy to get them across the Atlantic, so I will eventually get my hands on one, I am sure. Michael says, advertised as a TV yellow, but it's more like antique white. Interesting. Yeah, I'd love to check it out. Scott says 50 likes and Dave creates an audition tape for the Feedback Revival band. No. No. 50 likes and I will play guitar on YouTube again. I haven't done that in a while. Michael Tresca says he has to revive those bangs. Yeah. 70 likes and he delivers it. There we go, man. Indeed. I mean, let's hit the like though. I don't think we've ever hit 70 likes. If we hit 70 likes, I don't know, that'll be spectacular. We'll have to do something to celebrate it. Buglip says, Scott reminded me, now Marsha is out of a job. There you go. Yeah, hit the like button and all the buttons. Why not? I mean, it's free. Chris McGorbick says, let's just say this now. R.I.P. Sinead. I'm going to miss that crazy rebel. Now drink. Yes, let's talk about Sinead O'Connor for a minute. Not everybody's cup of tea, I'll tell you, but bona fide musical I think the word genius gets used too often, and I'm not going to use it in this sense, but she was a fantastic singer, somebody who was always impressed, stuck to her guns no matter what, and someone who will be missed. I think she was a talent, and she was a little bit crazy, and I don't think she'd mind anybody saying that about her. But yeah, fair play to her for everything she did and everything she fought and stand up for. Sad to see her go so early. So to Sinead, it's not. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Chris, early. I do appreciate that. Scott says, any chicks signed to Gretsch, a Joan Jett duo jet would be cool. I mean, maybe if Gibson stopped giving her Epiphone signature models and Gibson signature models, she might run over there. I don't know, but that would be a funny one for sure. Joan Jett, I love Joan Jett. For so many reasons. I just think she's great. Buglip says, I'm all done buying pedals for now. The next upgrade will be a nicer guitar, then maybe a slightly less craptastic amp. See, you got the shopping list already, Buglips. That's what it is. You gotta you can't ever say I'm done buying X, because you're not. It's just not gonna happen. Which is why I'm not a huge pedal guy right now, because if I get into pedals, I know I will be that guy with the like 200 pedals and trying to connect them all up somehow. Yeah, no, thanks. I'll go from being obsessed with looking at guitars all the time. See, with guitars, I can be like, it's too expensive. I'm not going to spend that much money. But with pedals, I can kind of justify it, and I don't want to spend all the money. so anyway, let's just move on and pretend gas is not a real thing. Buglive says, well, I did say for now, new pedals won't make much difference without better other stuff first. I mean, you never know. It's worth trying. Why not? Buglib says, I also have to figure out how to chain and use these without making every dog in the vicinity go mental. But that's the fun part. that's why we do it. And Buglip says, what happens if I put a compressor here instead? The dog outside is turning his head backwards. I don't hear nothing. I mean, yeah, that's how you know. If the dogs are acting correctly, then you know you got it set up right. Kirsten Goldberg says, I gotta get a new tuner for one of my Squire Strats. It's really hard to find one pin tuning keys. Most are two, so this might take some research. Interesting. I hope maybe somebody here, I'm thinking maybe Corey might be able to help you with that. Just because Corey seems to know his stuff. Scott says, Head from Corn had so many pedals. He said he was doing a live show, was like tap dancing for 3 hours. I mean, there you go. Yeah, well, I didn't know that, but that's a lot of tap dancing for sure. Chris says to Scott, that's why they sounded so terrible. There you go. Marcia's here. Great to see you, Marcia. I hope you're doing well and everything's good. Chris says, what do I know? I listen to punk rock. Hey man, who doesn't? Punk rock's great. Yeah, punk rock's awesome. William Forrest says, yo, by the way, just in case anyone doesn't know, that's where 3-chord Dave came from, because in punk, 3 chords and the truth, right? That's all you need. So 3-chord Dave and tell the truth, mostly about guitars and stuff. So yeah, very much punk inspired. The name of the channel. I think I might have been, heading down a NoFX kind of rabbit hole that day, and I came up with that. But there you go. William Forrest is here. Great to see you, William. Hope you're doing well, man. And yeah, lots of good folks in. It was great to see this evening. Mercer says, anyone hear the new Michael Starr and Sophie Lloyd song? I'm really loving it. Those guitar lines are killer. I love seeing Michael play some guitar as he's singing. Worth a listen. The video shot in a bar that definitely has some GHs. Indeed. In fact, I thought at one point they were going to allude to that in the video. Yeah, as you know, just in case you're unaware, you are part of an unofficial Steel Panther fan club now that you are here. We do love a bit of Steel Panther. Why not? And yeah, listen, Michael was playing a lot of guitar when I met him at NAMM. And I just like saying that I met Michael Starr and Styx at NAMM. So anyway, yeah, great stuff. They're from Sophie Lloyd as well. A very, very cool guitarist. So if you don't know her, check her out on YouTube. Just wholesome fun. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's a great song. I like it. Glenn Bailey is here. Hello, family. Hope we are all well. Glenn's on a streak. Hasn't had a timeout in weeks. So, Congrats, Glenn, but maybe we'll see how that goes for the rest of the night. No, I'm sure, my friend, you'll be good, and appreciated seeing all your pictures that you sent to the Facebook group. Yeah, if you're not a member of our Facebook group, there's a link in the description of all the videos, and there's a new Facebook group. We had an old one like months ago, maybe years ago, I don't know, but it was kind of terrible because you couldn't post in it. So my good friend and mentee, Muddy H2O, has decided to take it upon himself to run a Facebook group. So he set it up. It's, he's an administrator, and so am I, for some weird, odd reason, for a group with my name on it. And you can join it, and you can share pictures of your guitar stuff. And Glenn did that this week, in fact, today. So you can go over and check out his guitar room and see what kind of stuff you'd like to make him an offer on. He won't sell it to you, but you can always try. But good stuff, Glenn. Thank you so much for that. And give me the chance to say, check out the Facebook group. Links in all those videos, by the way. Marcia says, it's a really good song, in my humble opinion. I miss the funny Steel Panther jokes, but it doesn't need them because it's kick-ass on its own merits. I mean, there's some kind of fun lines in there. It's a story of funness, I would say. It's cool. And apparently inspired by listening to Zeppelin with her dad in the car when she was like 10 or 11 years of age. So anyway, I like Sophie Lloyd. I think she does some great YouTube guitar stuff and music stuff and all that. She's great, very good guitarist. But yeah, it is a very good song. I've only heard it the once. I watched Justin Hawkins' video, and then I watched the full thing. Where are we now? So bear with me, because stuff does drop in on top of me here. There we go. Where are we now? Richard Clark is here, and he says something in a weird other language. So I hope all is good with you, Richard. Thanks for making me insecure about languages, because I know that's French, right? I think it says howdy, my friends, or something. It says something about my friends. Marcia says, let's see if the screen refreshes today. Yeah, YouTube is one of those things. I have very strong opinions about what YouTube is, and begins with a B and ends with a D and has an A, S, T, A, or D in the middle. Ben Allmarks here says, howdy y'all, hope you are all well. We hope you are well, Ben. Great to see you, as it always is. Thanks for joining us once again. Glenn says, punk rock, Chris, there's nothing wrong with punk rock. I myself am a punk rocking metalhead who plays the blues, always have been, always will be. And that's why we love you, Glenn, because you do all the stuff, and we love you for it. Ed Axman says, hey man, Dave's not here. I'm here now, man. It's all good. It's all good, Cheech. But Dave will be here eventually. Booglip says, I like thrash metal and surf music. Those two do combine quite well. You got to mix them up just right in the playlist, but it's all good. Todd Moore is here, which is always great to see. He says, sup peeps, howdy Dave. If you lose me, it's because I've burst into flames. The main AC unit is down, and if you know anything about Alabama in July, well, it's July, and I'm in Alabama. Well, Todd, take care. I saw your injury today. I think you might have posted it during the week or whatever, but I saw your injury today. So Todd had an injury, guys. So everybody send him some positivity and good vibes. But yeah, we're glad to have you, Todd, and try and stay cool if you can. Recommendation, stay hydrated, beverages and such. But yeah, take care out there in the heat. Chris says, yes, Glenn, love punk, metal, thrash, etc. Just not skid rock glam crap. No hairspray. Dude, come on. It's just unnecessary to say no hairspray. I'm feeling kind of attacked right now. All good, man. All good. A little bit of hairspray sometimes, Glenn says the Circle Jerks and the Descendants tour got close to here. I almost took the trip to see them. I hope they're both bands. Of course, I'm kidding. I've heard of one of them. So great to see you. Glenn says Dave's thing broke. I mean, it's okay. It's going to be repaired. Marcia says, I enjoy a good chocolate stout. It's weird. I've never had one of these before. I've had stout that had hints of chocolate, and that's nice. I like that. This is literally like they just put a chocolate syrup for ice cream or something and carbonated it and put a little bit of like water in it. I don't know. It's weird. but at the same time, the more I've had of it, the more I've enjoyed it. So there's almost 2 hours to go, so we'll be fine. Scott says, anyone new here, welcome. You'll have to subscribe and wait for 1 minute before you can chat. So do that and say hello if it's your first time. Not too sweet, says Marsha. Yeah, this one probably is too sweet. Chris Goldberg says, Glenn Bailey, I saw The Circle 7 seconds when I was 15 in Toronto. Very cool. When I was 15, I saw Blur. And that was about it. So, Chris Goldberg says, saw Bad Brains in 1989. I just have Bad Brains in 2023. Dave, you need to try Purity Syrup. It sounds like something I don't want to try, Scott. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah. Todd says, Dave, stop telling people I bite. It ruins the surprise. I mean, man, I didn't call you out by name, I was just letting them kind of figure out which three. But hey, yeah, now they know you're on the list. But it's all good. It's a friendly bite, so don't worry, guys. Al says, I'm having a brain fart. If too much relief in neck, do you loosen or tighten, left or right? So anyway, I'm gonna let the people with all the experience answer that one for you. But which guitar are you working on? Because that sounds interesting. Sometimes, I mean, I will just play, I'm not going to say what I will do because you'll all hate me. Yep, I'm one of the 3 bitey people here, says Marsha. Yeah, you got to be careful with Marsha because she will get you. And says, isn't it righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, like a screwdriver? And Buglip says, my sister bit a moose once. I mean, these are the things we live for, finding these things out on a Saturday. I just want to know how she bit a moose. What did she, how and why, and what was the thought process, and how did it end? Is your sister okay? Did she survive? How's the moose? So many questions, man. Glenn says, Bad Brains, nice. Have you seen the doc Salad Days? It's about a punk been around Washington DC area in the 80s where I grew up. That was a good scene, I believe, according to Dave Grohl. So, he kind of talks it up a lot. Todd Moore says, Glenn, I'm going to send you my contact info so you can ship that Angel of Death over to me. Thanks. I mean, that's an interesting call out. I don't know if he will, but you never know. I hope your sister bit a moose whilst it was on a plate. See, so many questions. I'll ask, so am I tightening or loosening the rod if too much relief? See, I'm one of those where if I had it in my hand, I could tell you, but just explaining it to you, I'm going to get it wrong. I know I would, so I'm not going to answer it, but someone else will, I'm sure. Glenn says, Chris says, Glenn, yes, I have seen it. Amazing. Just hear that Milo and the Descendants had a mild heart attack. He's good though. Well, that's good. It was good to hear that he's good. That's nice. And Todd Moore says, you may be the bitiest of us too, Marsha. Indeed. Indeed. I would fear that. And Richard says, do you think I could get sued if I made an all-you-can-eat place called Jimmy Buffet? No, I think you're fine. It's like my plan is when I eventually set up a guitar company, Gibson has the open book headstock. I'm going to have the closed book headstock and see how they like that. Glenn says, I didn't hear that Milo had a problem, man. Hope he's okay. Indeed. Best wishes to Milo. Todd says, Dave, you play guitar, and has a smiley emoji. That's the kind of thing that gets you a time out, man. I've been known to play like guitars from time to time. Not too often, because people in comment sections. That's why. So there you go. Mark says, I don't have to say to hit like. I scared everybody in the chat into saying it for me. It's true, actually. Everyone hit the like button before Marsha gets here. Everyone says it every week. Somebody says it in the comment section every week. So there you go. Glenn says to Todd, that death angel will be with me till my death. Well, there you go. Ben says, Sinead was and is a legend rock star through and through. Yeah, absolutely no complaints there. I do agree with you. Glenn, so put me in your will, says Todd. I mean, so it's going to be a big will because he's leaving all them guitars to me. Marcia says, Al, I'm not holding a guitar But I think you go to right if there's too much relief. Just go a quarter turn at a time and watch which way it's bending. If it's going the right direction, you're good. Yeah, if it's going in the right direction, you're good. Top advice. For sure. Yeah, I mean, if I had it in my hand, I would be able to help you out. But I just don't like saying left or right because I'll get it wrong. Um, and then it's like, are you looking at it or are you behind it? All that. Um, Richard says, I'm buying no more gear until I see what the next Badlands offering is. Those things end up being custom shop quality. Ended up being custom shop quality. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't said anything yet about what it's going to be. I haven't really been following too closely, so maybe they have, but I haven't seen anything since the first one, right? Cool guitars, though, for sure. As I think I said at the time, not the kind of thing I'd pick up myself, not the kind of thing that would get me super excited, me to go, oh my God, I have to have that. But yeah, I think they look cool and I like what they're doing. A nice twist on the YouTuber guitar space. Because sometimes it just feels like the YouTuber guitar thing is a cash in. Some of the companies that have come from YouTube guitar people are great. Some of their guitars are fantastic, but some of them just seem like, hey, I've got an audience. Let's just try and sell them some crap I can buy for $150 each and charge $8.99 for them. And I'm mentioning no names, but you can buy cheap guitars off manufacturers in China and sell them for a lot more. And I just hate when people do that. But what I'm saying is the Badlands guitars are absolutely not that. They look fantastic quality. So actually, has anyone got one? Anyone in the chat there? Let us know if you have, because that'd be cool to know what your own experience with those is. I'm sure with those guys who are involved, they're going to be kick-ass in the hand. Anyway, Buglip says, I'll start tuning my guitar based on how contorted the dog's head is. That is one way of doing it, for sure, yeah. I'm not sure your neighbors will be too happy, but it's fine. Mara said, yes, Sinead liked to make some waves, like or dislike her music. Everyone heard her message at least once. I think so. Yeah, she was cool. I always liked her, to be honest. I never met her, never had, but I never had anything bad to say about her. Never thought she was out of line or did anything weird or anything. I just liked her. I always thought she brought some fun to things as well. She wasn't afraid to give people shit when they needed some shit. There you go. Scott says, Buglips, you should watch 5 Watt World. His channel is all about how to get the most music out of the least amount of gear. 5 Watt World is a great channel and you should all be watching it for sure. I should catch up on watching it. I haven't had a lot of time to be watching stuff. So I'm only on my hardcore channels. Hang on, wait, I shouldn't say that. Only the channels I'm super, super fans of right now. I've been keeping up with everything else. I gotta catch up on. So like Guitarista has been keeping up with, and a couple of others, not guitar related. Yeah, just been too much going on. The day job's been a bit of a nightmare for the last few months. When companies make changes and they're stupid changes and you just got to sit there and watch it burn. That's kind of what's happening at my job right now. And if anyone from my job is out there, hey, just giving away company secrets here. Anyway, Mark Dolan says, new handmade JTM Marshalls for under $1,000, depending on your currency, right? I haven't looked at them too much. As you guys know, I'm trying to hold off from buying an amp until I move. It's one of the things when I move house. And I've been saving for a house for a long time now, and the housing market just gets... I mean, this is not a housing market channel. It's supposed to be talking about guitars, but the Irish guitar housing market is ridiculous, just so you guys know. But I've been looking at houses in Sweden because they look fantastic, and just, Swedish women live in Sweden, so that's good. Chris from Coburg says, 3-chord, a punk Dave. I did a very big punk phase in my teens, I did. Kickstarted by finding Green Day and going from there. Yeah, and I suppose you could say the Spaghetti Incident was kind of like just a punk album as well. So yeah, anyway, lots of love for punks for sure. Someday I want to get to the Punk Museum in Las Vegas, but who knows when I will get there. But it's just another thing on the list I want to do. And I've lost my place again. So bear with me just a second. Just see some comments when I go too far and like, oh, that's funny. And Buglip says, cool, Scott. I found him and subbed for later watching. All right, cool. Good stuff. You will certainly enjoy that channel. It's a great one. Mar says, Dave, I thought there would be a GH reference too, but they were trying to be serious. Plus, they didn't have to if we thought it. Exactly. Yeah, I think they had some funny stuff. Like there was the part in the video where Michael's carrying the keg of beer and he just kind of is struggling with it and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. And then he pouring the beer behind the bar and doing a terrible job of it. There you go. But anyway, Scott says, nice. Keith is really into Farley Mowat. That's kind of how I connected with him. Interesting. Glenn says, tonight could be the night timeout boiling up inside. And someone's getting a timeout. I don't know who it's going to be. Chris from Coburg says, pizza guy is here. B or B. Dude. Yeah. Says, Chris ordered pizza. He didn't make it himself. I mean, hey, everyone deserves a week off. And, you know, we will talk about time off soon. And changes. I know I've been teasing changes recently, particularly on the live stream. And that's, you know, we might talk about it later in the stream. In fact, maybe towards the end. So if you want to find out what kind of changes I'm thinking, think about it. I'm not sure I want to tell you guys yet, but basically do some different live stream stuff. Todd says, this weed is crap. Oops, did I say that out loud? No, you didn't. You typed it. So it's probably good weed in that case. But hey, man, get some good stuff. Why not? Treat yourself. Who got one of those outdoor pizza ovens? No. I live in Ireland. I don't know if you know about what because we get about 2 weeks of good weather here a year, and that's past. Let me see, what have we got? Todd says, this is Scott, I'm seriously considering building one. I have that space. I have the space for it and a large pile of good brick that needs a purpose. Sounds like a perfect purpose right there. T is here. How's it going? T says, hey, Chord Dave. Hello, all in chat. Great to see you, T. Hope all's good, man. Bet you're excited for tomorrow, are you? Bet you are. Just feel like you could be. And we'll, I'm sure, discuss it at some point. Todd says, Chris, yeah, bag of sadness from a usually reliable source. There you go. Yeah, that's not good. T says, Chord Dave, All Ireland tomorrow. Let Dave explain. If you want me to explain, I mean, the All Ireland is the, so we have a sport in Ireland. We have two national sports. Hurling, which I'm sure you've all heard of at some point, which is a game where people just beat the shit out of each other with sticks. But we have another game, which is our variation of football, Gaelic football. And basically, they're the same situation. All the counties play against each other, and then at this time of year or so, we get around to the end of the championship, which is the All Ireland final. Tomorrow, it's against it's Dublin and Kerry, I think. I don't follow football because I'm from Wexford, so I don't follow it too much. But yeah, it's always a big day. How many people go to it? How many people fit in Croke Park? 85,000, something like that. People will be at it tomorrow, and it'll be madness. And it's basically, you know, the way in American football they put on helmets, like hard helmets, and they put on shoulder pads and like padding on their legs and stuff like that. Yeah, they should be made to watch Gaelic football. They should be made to watch the All Ireland football for just a few rounds, because actually the hurling and the football, watch them back to back, because there ain't no padding. And that's why some of those people, they look the way they do. But it's all good. It's a great game. You should check it out. It's on tomorrow. If you can in any way watch it, you should. Todd says, I get about a 4.5 inch cut on my, I did get about a 4.5 inch cut on my bald head the other day. Stung a bit, much better now though. Thanks. Well, still, hey, it looked pretty rough. So all good wishes to you, Todd. Yeah, I did that once when I was younger, but it's a long story. I didn't have a bald head at that point, but it's a long story. Todd saw that pic of your head. Hopefully it's healing good. Indeed. Chris Goldberg says, I'm getting a bald spot the size of a side plate. Maybe time to let it go. Dude, my advice is that it was the best thing I did. I was worried that it would look weird. I was worried that it wouldn't go well. And then I was freaked out. I was like, what if I do this? What if I shave my head? And then it looks terrible. And then what happened was I shaved my head and I was like, it's fine. I can just deal with it. And I have ever since. So yeah, if you feel it, do it. But you have to be ready to do it as well. I don't think anyone can tell you when it's the time. Which is it's a weird way to think about it. It's just the way we are, humans. Anyway, talk about guitars, because here's Al's asking us another question. Trying to turn the truss rod to the right. It doesn't want to go. Too much relief in the neck. My Epi LP. Chris says, "Oh, sorry, Todd. I misunderstood. Are you okay?" And just say that you're a monk. That's for the haircut. Yeah, if I could have got away with that financially, I probably would have for a while longer. Glenn says, Dave, you plan on drinking the entire beer? Suggest checking your blood sugar halfway through. Jesus, man. I don't think that'd be a good idea any day. I mostly survive on chocolate and Haribo, so it's not a good thing. I'm too busy to get real food. I'm just kidding, of course. Let's see, Glenn. Lucky for me, I'm quite hard-headed. Oh, good, brother, says Todd. Well, there you go. That's all you need. Mark says, Tristan Grover, yeah, just saw the Andertons vid. Also, Vintera 2 guitars are coming. Yes, they are. Yeah, we spoke about them last week on the stream, in fact. And there's also some new Sonic, what are they called? The Sonic Squires. Yeah, there's new colors coming in those as well. I think they're already out, actually. They're coming very, very soon, like maybe next week or something. So those are cool, though, the Vintera 2s. They should be here soon as well. I don't think if anyone knows the exact, or maybe by now they have, but last week we didn't know an exact date, but it was expected they'd be very soon after the Tom DeLonge announcements. That was Fender's next thing, which has obviously been done now. Let me see, what else have we got? T says, I hope all is good on your side of the globe. To Scott, indeed. Scott says, I'm surviving. That's all you need to do, man. Marcia says, maybe it's broken. It should move very easily, or maybe it's stuck. Yeah, if a truss rod is stuck, I mean, it could be. It shouldn't be maxed out, but depends. It's maxed out. It might be a case where it's it just needs a little bit of lubrication, one way or the other. But I've never maxed one out, so I don't know what that would be like. So hopefully someone else can chime in there and help you out. Yeah, it shouldn't get stuck that way, but it can, I suppose. Might be worth taking it to somebody like a luthier to actually and check it out instead, because I don't want to give you bad advice here, and then you want me to, fix it. I'll be like, I don't know how to fix it. Chris says, pizza is great, extra anchovies and crickets. Dude, that's disgusting. How could you put anchovies on a pizza? Ew. Very good. Very good. Right, let's see, what else have we got? Chris Coburg says, yo, Ben Tom, holy shit, long time. I hope all's well, brother. I haven't seen Tom. Oh, there he is. Good to see you, Tom. Hope we were well. Thanks for dropping in once again to see us. Let me see, who else have we got here? T says, time for beer. Slodge it. I mean, if you're, yeah, slodge it. Hang on. I'll keep that there. Slodge it, T, in fact. Let me see. Are we all in agreement that the Rolling Stones are so old they should change their name to the Kidney Stones and their logo to a set of false teeth? Dude, I've been calling them the Strolling Bones since I was in school, which is 24 years ago. So yeah, I definitely think that they are. I know, when was the last time they released a new album? Because I listen to their old stuff, of course I do. I mean, Jumpin' Jack Flash goes on every playlist that I make. It's one of my favorite songs. I love it. Brown Sugar is great. Painted Black also goes on every playlist. Pretty much, Give Me Shelter. I do like a lot of Rolling Stone stuff from that kind of era. But yeah, I couldn't tell you if they've released new stuff lately. But yeah, Strolling Bones for me. Glenn says, Al, I don't have an opinion with truss rods. I've only adjusted a couple, but I usually watch a vid before I try. I can't remember which way. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those where I don't want to give you the wrong advice, Al, myself personally, because I can go very wrong. So yeah, sorry, but hopefully, maybe someone more knowledge than I will, or Glenn has, will be able to help. I hope so. Um, excuse me. Marcia says, I don't understand you guys all fix your guitars and build lots, but you don't know how to tighten a truss rod. Nobody said they don't know how to tighten a truss rod, so that's a bit of a jump. That's so funny. Yeah, I'm no expert either, but you know. See, the problem is, Marcia, you can't tell. You, like, right, let's just say I have a guitar, all right, and if I've got a truss rod here, if I've got a wrench and I'm here, now this is from the turn it to the right or turn it to the left. But if you're looking at it from this way instead of this way, then I'm telling you the wrong direction. So it's it's very hard to know, and it's also hard to know the resistance and stuff like that. So it's not easy to say, oh hey, from a comment online, this is what you should do. If I had it in hand, I'd be able to help, but I don't, so I can't. And clearly, it's not something you want to tell somebody to do, and then do the wrong thing, and then their guitar's fecked. So that's all I'm sure everyone else wants to. That's all you want to be sure of there. You know, the best advice is to make sure not to do anything that you're not sure of, and don't give advice on the internet, and don't listen to advice on the internet. Glenn says to Scott, when I saw the Stones in '89 Steel Wheels tour, people were calling it the Steel Wheelchair Tour back then. So good at your idea for a name change. There you go. Marcia says, build kits. Damn you, autocorrect. Hey, listen, it's too late. You said it. You said what you said, and it was taken as you said it. Chris Kovac says, I picked up an Ampete 8. Chris McCover. Ben Tom says, I picked up an Ampete 88S Studio V2 switcher. Good German engineering. German engineering tends to be quite good, so yeah, that sounds like a good pickup. Scott says, Dave, what EU countries are best for guitar shops? Which are worst, in your opinion? Interesting question. I haven't been to all the countries in Europe, so I don't know what my answer really would be. The ones I've been to, and I'm hesitant to say because the places I've been to might be better than others. I was in France, that was quite good. Some good guitar stores and places I was in France, mostly in the south of France. I've been to Spain. So when I was in Spain, I there was one guitar store in the city I went to. It wasn't great, but I've bought a lot of stuff from two luthier suppliers in Spain. So I'm gonna give them. They're probably good. Thomann is in Germany, so they're probably good. Music stores in Germany as well. T has actually sent me a link a couple of times to a store in Italy. I believe it's in Italy somewhere. It's either Italy or Austria, so I think they're okay, those two countries. I saw a video this week, actually. I think it was Giant Guitars from Northern Ireland, I believe. He went on a little trip around like Croatia and Slovenia, maybe Hungary, a couple of places, that part of the world, and he was saying that they were all quite good as well, and he wants to go back to visit the stores. He has video of touring around, going to guitar shops in all those countries. So that was fun. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would say the best one I've been to might be the Netherlands. Yeah, a long time ago. It was like 2003, 2004. So yeah, there's some pretty good guitar stores when I was there. 2000. I was there, and I was in a small city, and I had some great guitar stores. So that's what I would say. Yeah, and I put Ireland at the second bottom of the list because there's not a good one near me. Ben Tom says it's the same one as Hennig Pauly has. Well, that dude knows his gear, so yeah, that's definitely sounds good. Andrew Collins is here. Great to see Andrew. Says no way, those Badlands guitars are way overpriced. I have no idea how much they are. So there you go. I should have thought about that, and I didn't. So yeah, I have no idea how much they were, but I actually think now that you've mentioned it, I might remember people saying they were quite expensive. So there you go. Hadn't thought about that. Good point. Oh no, Al says I think I broke it. That sucks, man. Yeah, that's why I was hesitant to say one way or the other. It doesn't sound good, but hey, maybe somebody will be able to help you fix it, like a luthier in your area or something like that. Todd says, Marsha, a truss rod can be a bit tricky. Even the mighty Geek Lord gets chills when he sees too much thread showing on one. And that is true. And that guy puts guitars on his workbench. And that's all we will say about that. Chris McCoberg says, Tom, I have no idea what that is, but cool. I will do my homework. Ryan says, hey, sorry, fell asleep. That's all right, man. It's all good. And by the way, I mentioned the Facebook group. Ryan put some killer stuff in the Facebook group, and we appreciate that, Ryan. So thank you so much for that. I just need to let you know how great that is. Let me see, where else are we? Because I've lost an awful lot of comments once again. But yeah, being asleep is fine. You woke up. Where are we now? We've got oh man, it's after dumping in so many. I'm like way behind. All right, cool. Tom also says, I also got a Red 7 MSLM stereo line mixer up and running. Very cool. Marcia says, very true, Todd. Yeah, Marcia's just not letting us have anything. Al says, but the neck looks straight. Well, hey, if the neck looks straight, maybe it's okay. Hopefully so. Tom says, I am building an 80s rack gear rig. That sounds great, Tom. It sounds like something we're going to want to find out about when you have it ready. Let me see. Richard says, the Badlands was not my style, but the build, wow, would not have been a buyer. But knowing what I know now, if the next one is even in my very large ballpark. Oh, very cool. No, that's, yeah, I mean, listen, again, I can't remember how much they were. So if someone wants to pop in how much they were, I'll give my opinion. I mean, maybe I will. I know. I thought they were nice guitars. They looked interesting. They looked like they were putting a lot into them. But at the time, I think the price did stick out as a bit high. But also, it's just a guitar that I wouldn't have. Like, I wouldn't go to that side of the guitar store if I saw it. Not that I'm afraid of it. It just wouldn't be my style. Anyways, fine. Moving on. Todd says, WTF, Ryan, really nodding off again, are you? Glad you're here. It's fine. Sometimes it starts off slow but gets better throughout the show, and that's all I'm going to say. Chris McCoberg says to Tom, awesome, I'm building a Behringer budget board for some kids in the hood. Lots of fun. Tom says, nice. I usually donate extra gear I'm not using to my local rock band school for kids. Oh man, I wish there was a rock band school for kids when I was a kid. But there wasn't. So there you go. Richard Clark says, those new Marshalls are the only things tempting me at the moment. Or maybe at the minute. It could work both ways. It could also not mean that at all. But those are, I haven't looked into them too much, but I know they're going to sound pretty cool or look pretty cool because most of the people making videos about them were sent them for free, and they're going to make them sound cool because of that. But they do look pretty cool. Let me see. Oh, School of Rock. Yeah, I've looked into those before. They're pretty cool. It's fun. Fun little idea. I wish I'd been around when I was here. T says today, Chord Dave, I like Sinead's line. I heard her say in an interview, they tried to bury me, but they didn't realize I was a seed. There you go. That is a great line. I like that a lot. Yeah, for sure. And just like her to say something like that, But she was quite a character. Ryan says, I ordered my guitar body. It'll be here in September. Going to buy the neck Monday in person at Solo. Oh, very cool. You can go there in person. But yeah, hopefully you get a pretty good one. I still haven't committed to a second kit after I cancelled, I guess, the order for the first one that was coming from Amazon because it was taking forever to get here. But they did refund me. So now I just got to get into that crowd who are selling the Stu Max stuff and get a good one. The thing is, I want to do a stain on it rather than paint it. So kind of just looking to see what the best options are for that. So, and I have stains. I have some of these ones from Crimson Guitars. I have this one, and I have a few others. So I will be playing around with that, see if I can get a nice finish on my kit. So just in case you're like, what the hell are they talking about? So we're doing like a little very what's the word? Very informal guitar DIY guitar kit build project / competition, where just basically for the rest of the year, if you have time, if you have the ability to go and get one, pick up a guitar kit and put it together and do whatever you want with it, upgrade it, downgrade it, whatever, it's all good, and post it up on our Facebook group. Or if you're not on Facebook or don't want to be on Facebook group, you can email me. The email address is in the bottom of all the all the descriptions on all the videos. All of those things that you do, send some pictures and of your guitars. Now just be careful of your guitars, and we will give out some prizes and stuff like that, for like small prizes. I'm not going to be giving away guitars or nothing, but like maybe books or things like that. Maybe a Slash hat will be sent to somebody. Who knows what will happen. But yeah, it's just a little bit of fun for us. We decided till the end of the year, because I have not decided. I haven't picked up my guitar kit yet. It's not here. So originally I thought it would be like August, but yeah, still have no kit, so can't do that. I know a few other projects running at the same time that I know I'll have less time to work on it than I initially thought I would. So anyway, rest of the year, just do it. Post them up in the group. Post them up on the email. Send me the email and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you're interested, do it. If you're not interested, you can vote or hit like button on the Facebook thing, and I'll do a video with some entries if they're emailed as well, if you're cool with that. So anyway, that's what we're going to do, just for a bit of crack, and we'll vote for the best one. And by the way, because I have said the word competition, I won't be commenting in the comment section to contact me, and I won't contact you in any way and ask you to pay me money for shipping or anything like that. If anybody asks you to send them money, it's not me. Please report that shit, and just don't fall for any scams, because people do, and then they get angry that they fell for the scam. They blame the YouTuber. It's not the YouTuber's fault, so don't do it. I won't be commenting on your comments in the comment section saying you've won a prize. I'll never do that. So, and if I ask you for money, don't send it to me. That's a dick move. I would never ask you for money. Having said that, there's links. I don't think the links are working right now actually on this video, but for the rest of the videos they should be working. For the video, not the video, the ways to support the channel, for the t-shirts and the merch and stuff like that. If they're not working now, I'll get them back up and running during the week. And the other way you can support the channel financially is on Patreon, where if you do that, occasionally a video will be published and it goes up 24 hours early on Patreon. And you can do all kinds of other things, like click the Amazon links and stuff like that are in the description. That all helps out the channel, and things of that nature. And I do appreciate it. Appreciate it all. Super cool thing to do as well as like and share the videos. That's super great. Cool. And a thank you to all of you who have been doing that. It's great. I do see you all doing it. Anyways, that's enough of my begging, and let's move on to the next thing. Tom says to Chris, all the stuff that I can't afford as a kid that would have been 20 grand or more back in the 80s. I mean, that's a cool thing to be donating and to pick up now, even for yourself. That's super cool. Marsh says, Dave, lots of people get into punk with Green Day, Sum 41, Blink 182, Avril. I mean, did Avril Lavigne get people into punk? Did she? And some of those other bands that got radio play. Coincidentally, Chris's Pizza is probably 19-inch too. I don't know if that's a pizza comment or something else. I don't know what we're saying here. But good for you, Chris. Ryan says, I made an outdoor pizza oven, made it myself. I have an outdoor pizza oven, made it myself. Very cool. Yeah, maybe someday, when I'm not renting a place that has no space. Scott Bogfoot says, I have a reciprocating saw, so my maple neck is closer to being done. I'm looking forward to seeing it, Scott, as always, as everyone is, I believe, for sure. Join the Facebook group, you'll find out what Scott's up to. That's getting sugary every time I take a sip. Chris says, Tom, very cool. I remember those days. I knew one guy in town that could afford that gear. Nice that it's affordable now. Well, more affordable. That's the thing, isn't it? Chris says getting out the measuring tape. No worries, dude. I keep mine handy, so you know if you want to just pop it up to the screen there, and we can see what you got. It's all good. I'll pop that over there for later. Uh, Tom says, I usually play a minimalist rig, but I'm setting it up so the local school of rock can borrow it when they want for shows. That's a cool thing, Tom. That's an awesome move, and good for you, man. That's super cool. Ben says, Dave, I heard the Ireland and Scotland Def Leppard shows were pretty decent. You know anybody that went? I think Vincent Doyle went, and he's in our chat most Saturdays. So yeah, I think he was there. I think he mentioned it a couple weeks ago or just after it. I do know some people who went, yeah, and they all had a good time. I don't know about the Scotland one, but definitely the Dublin one. There's a few people went and enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot of fun. Someday I'll get to a Motley Crue show. I don't know. It just didn't excite me this time around. I don't know why, man. But yeah, it was that venue. I went to that venue last year for Guns N' Roses, and it was fine. I just felt, yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice. It wouldn't be the favorite place I've ever been to a gig at, but also not the worst. So I don't know. I wasn't super into it. Tom says, I have 6 4x12 and 2x12s that run into the switcher. The amplifiers are 8 different heads. Wow, man, that sounds awesome. My plan is to eventually turn my small house into a studio or museum for audio guitar equipment. Dude, we're all going around to Tom's to check out the museum. I love that idea, Tom. Sounds super cool. And yeah, if you are opening to the public, let us know, because we will come and visit and check it out for sure. And yeah, that'd be great. And hopefully you do it before Trogley, because he wants to set up a museum, and we'd come to yours first. Scott says the live acoustic show they did in Sheffield, that's on YouTube, is amazing. I presume you mean Def Leppard, because they're from Sheffield, so I presume they would have done it there. Let me see. The nice thing about reciprocating saw is that you get back what you give. That's why it's reciprocating, right? I also collect vintage Fender and Marshall amps. Cool, Tom. I mean, yeah, gotta collect something, right? And that's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's cool. Chris agrees. Mighty nice of you. I'm sure getting a lot of satisfaction helping young players also. Indeed. I would say it's really satisfying. Ryan says hurling is much more than beating each other with sticks. Anyone who's ever been hit with a slither can tell you that. Indeed. It's the great thing about it is it's violence, and the rules are the violence is allowed. I love it. It's brilliant. It's one of the best games. It's the most exciting game, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. You should watch it. It's not just beating each other with sticks. It's also just beating each other in general. And occasionally points are scored. Nobody knows how. We're just kidding, everyone. We know how. But I did read an interesting conversation online somewhere with people like, why does the scoring work this way? Wouldn't it be easier if it was all just everyone gets a point for whatever? Because there's like over the bar gets 1 point, in the goal gets 3 points. And then the score is like goals on one side and points on the other. So you have, for example, you could have 3 goals and 4 points, and that would be a total of 13. Or you could have, I don't know, 10 points and 1 goal, and that'd be the same. If my maths is wrong, I don't know if my maths is wrong. It'd be similar. It'd be close. It'd be a close game. But yeah, people are like, I can't figure this out because that team has more goals but less points, and who's winning. And it's just, we'd always do things weird in Ireland, and it's great. Anyway, that's the worst summation of Gaelic sports ever. You're welcome. That's why I talk shit about guitars instead of sports. Chris from Coburg says, Tom, it's all about the kids coming up, as that will be the next generation of music. Yeah, and you got to wonder, will the next generation of music be any good? It's been a while since I got excited about a band or anyone coming through where I thought, that sounds cool. You know, it just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not listening to stuff that's out there. I'm sure I am. Probably not listening to the right stuff at all. But that's because I just listen to the stuff I like. And Tom says, the best satisfaction I ever get is from giving decent gear to young players and seeing the look on their face, the look of satisfaction and excitement on their face is worth it 100%. Reminds me of being 12 and playing a $100 guitar and loving it. Tom, that is super cool of you, man. That is great. And yeah, keep it up, because that's a cool thing to do, and you're making a huge difference there. That's great to see, because yeah, kids, it's nice to get guitars in their hands, and then it keeps going, and that way it just keeps on rolling. Richard says to Tom, maybe his lordship Trogley will rent you some space at his guitar museum, and we'll see. Yeah, but I agree. I'm also happy to see kids and teens will still playing real instruments. Very heartwarming. Yeah, and it's come up. It went down a little bit, but it's definitely a thing kids are more interested in nowadays than they had been over the last maybe 10 years or so. Pandemic did help that out a lot, because parents were like, here, play this, figure this out, that'll keep you quiet. No, it didn't. D-Mac is here. Great to see you. D-Mac says, for punk bands, I still listen to the Ramones a lot. Been spinning their first 2 records a ton lately. I'll add the Stooges as pre-punk. Listening to Funhouse a lot lately also. Yeah, I like listening to the Ramones. Throw them on playlists as well. Stooges, I quite like the Stooges as well. Yeah, very cool stuff indeed. So anyways, yeah, good taste. Scott says, Dave, I was led to believe from a Gibson video that all Gibsons have an RFID tag under the fretboard used for internal tracking. 1, is this usable to recover stolen guitars? And 2, do you think they are even in the guitars? I don't know. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I think I might have seen that video as well. I don't know, man, because you see they have the QR codes now in them instead. So maybe they just went the QR code route, like a little sticker. It's usually in the neck pickup cavity. They have a little QR code. So I don't know. Maybe they're not doing it anymore. I honestly don't know. And if it could be used to recover stolen guitars, I'd imagine there must be some way. Yeah, I think you'd have to know probably the signature for the particular guitar. So wouldn't be a strong point of mine, but I don't know. Maybe just another reason why Gibson are trying to justify their crazy price guitars. But hey, other companies charge a lot too. Let's just be clear on that. It's not just Gibson who do that. So that's something that maybe to look into. I'll have to ask Cesar when he finally gives in and comes on the show. So Cesar, if you're out there, we got some questions for you, man. Let us know. Tom says, Richard, I need the room. I've already filled a 2,000 square foot with gear. Wow, that is amazing. That's a lot of gear, which is always good. We do like a lot of gear. Glenn Bailey says, D-Mac, I love the Ramones. And this is why we love Glenn, because he loves the Ramones and others. So, it's all good. Scott says, oh yeah, we got that one out of the way. It's Chris from Coburg. Unless you order a personal pizza, it should be 19-inch unless the store cheaped out. At least that's true for NY Pie. But they cheap out here sometimes too. All right, well, now we know the specific specs and stats and parts and specs of a New York pizza. Good stuff. I do appreciate that. Tom says, a very modest house, but it's filled with gear. I would much rather have the gear than a bigger house. Yeah, same. I'm happy with a small one as long as it can add some nice gear to it. In fact, a friend of mine knows that I've been hunting for houses all pretty much around Europe, to be honest with you. Sent me a picture sent me a listing from a house in a different country, and one of the pictures had an Epiphone Casino in it with a Marshall amp. I was like, yeah, that they're pretty much just trying to sell me that house. It was a small house, but it was a nice house as well. So that's how to sell me your house if you want to. Chris from Goldberg says, big house means more to clean. Indeed. Yeah, just more chores, right? Sold a 6,000 square foot house years ago so I could buy more gear. And that, for my money, is a really good idea. So that's what I would go with too. Ryan says, RFID tag has a really short signal distance. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it should only be like a few inches really, shouldn't it? Like at most. Not even that, maybe. I don't know. Um, Ben Tom says hashtag gear junkie. Yes, welcome, welcome. We're all in that bath right there. It's a big bath, but we're all in it. Scott says, Ryan, understood. I mean, there's a physical guitar in dispute. I don't know. You'd have to have the signature from it, Scott. Like you'd have to know the exact one, and I don't I don't reckon Gibson are gonna let you know that info probably. So who knows? Glenn says, "My name's Glenn. I'm a gear junkie." Yeah, I know. Got that same thing, that same badge. I've been to that meeting many times. Ryan says, "All the repair videos I've seen, I never saw any signal tags on a guitar. Who knows though?" Yeah, I would agree. I would I would be sus that they would have it in there, to be honest. But maybe, who knows? Maybe they've got something. Best Stones album is Goat's Head Soup. Um, is it? Interesting. I'm not going to say what I think it is, but you should definitely all put in the comments what you think the best Stones album is. Um, Tom says, I tried to stop buying gear, and I couldn't find a pill that would make me stop buying it. I work on all my own guitars, and it's much cheaper than taking them somewhere. But I also know that it's above my skill level, and have a guy I can take it to. I'm the same, Tom. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, listen, there's no cure for the gas. You're gonna always want to buy new gear, and yeah, I mean, here we are. I've been at it many years, as you have, I'm sure, and lots of us here. There's just no way to, because they keep bringing out cool stuff, and then you're like, oh, you know what? That means someone's gonna sell that other cool stuff that I liked 5 years ago, and so on. There's always cool stuff out there, so yeah, I don't think we'll ever get over it, to be honest. And it's a good. I'm the same. Like, I have a guy down the street that I will take stuff to if I know. I just, number one, there's a lot of things I'd be like, I don't want to feck this up, so I'm going to bring it to him. But like, I've an issue with my SG at the minute, and I thought it was straightforward. I was having a look at it today, and I was like, I might have to bring it down to Marty to fix this. I don't know because I'm not sure what's going on. Um, but anyway, I tried everything. It's still not working. I love that SG, man, but it's okay. I picked up the Flying V instead, so it was good. It was fine. But yeah, that's the way to do it. Do what you can, know what you can't do. Chris McCoburg says, Tom, that pill should never be produced. I mean, it would be expensive probably, and you'd need two of them. Well, anyway, Scott says, I'm a prime example. I have all the knowledge to work on my guitars, but lack experience and confidence, so I don't. Yeah, the confidence is a big thing. I think at some point you've got to say, I'm going to do it. If I mess up, it's my fault. That's the only thing you can do. But yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine, Scott. You seem to do a lot of stuff that works quite similar to how guitars work. Tom says, I agree. That pill would be the end for me. I don't know, man. I don't want to take it. I started out working on cheap $100 guitars to get experience and confidence. That is a very good thing to do. Yeah, buy a cheap guitar, pick up an old one, just work on it. That is what I still continue to do. I haven't actually done a whole lot of work on my expensive or important guitars. Todd says, Dave, the Rolling Stones are currently recording new material and confirmed to include both Bill Wyman and none other than Sir Paul McCartney on tracks. Interesting, considering Paul McCartney said that they were nothing more than a blues cover band. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the song that they do with him. That'll be a fun one. After 30 years of getting it wrong, I got a couple of things right, and that's all you need, Tom. That's great. That's awesome. Scott says autocorrect is worse now in 2023 than it was in 2009. That's because it's learned exactly what you want to say and it corrects it to something else. Chris McCormick says, oh yeah, Bill is back in the band. Tom says, I shall take some of my vintage amps to an amp tech that was way more experienced than me. Oh, at amps for sure. I would be just, here, fix that. I wouldn't even attempt to look at it myself, just because I don't know anything about amps whatsoever. I know how to plug them in. That's about it. Chris McCormick says, Tom, that's a good strategy to learn guitar repair and setup. Tom says autocorrect kills me. Yeah, it's one of the worst, man. And Tom says Spain is one of my favorite countries in the world. I love Barcelona. The only Spanish city I've been to is San Sebastian, which is up in the northeast of Spain, right near the border with France. I know it is because I flew into France and got a bus to the city, and it was a lot. It's a seems like a long time ago now, but there we go. It was a long time. It was 5 years ago. Um, Recently, like a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it's a really nice city. The guitar store that I saw there was fine, nothing special. Um, but yeah, glad you enjoy Spain. It was a nice place. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their cervezas. Al says, wish I had the energy and movability that Mick Jagger had in his 70s. He moves better than some in their 40s, me included, sir. Yes, I wouldn't fancy a dance off with Mick. I think he would win. Chris says, plus Spanish wine rules. I mean, yeah, no, it's one of the wines of the world. Um, Ryan says England and Italy have amazing shops. Spain is good for acoustics, but many people get them custom made there. Interesting stuff. You'd expect Spain to have good guitars, really, wouldn't you? Because the whole electric Spanish and all that sort of stuff, and Spanish guitars, and yeah, yeah. There you go. Only just put that together. So there we go. It's been one of those nights. Uh, um, where I lost a comment. There was just about to read a comment from somebody who I hadn't seen in the chat before. So let's see where we were. Just 1 second, we'll catch up. Somebody mentions a greenie, so that was just where we were. Nizadizo says, what is that sound in your video? And you might be referring to the media, or the music, sorry. It's the music bed underneath, which is quite low because last week people were complaining that it was too loud and they couldn't hear because, I don't know, their hearing aids were not turned up or something. But yeah, so I had to turn it down a little bit. So it's still there. It might just be that. I don't know what else you're hearing. Maybe you can let us know what kind of sound you're hearing. And if anyone else is hearing anything weird, let us know. Al says, I've seen Jagger's workout routines and it exhausts me to watch. Well, there you go. And Todd says, Mick is actually 80. There you go. Chris from Coburg says, do you guys think the new Epiphones are overpriced, the 150th anniversary ones? Well, Chris, like everything with Epiphone, yes, I do. I think they're quite expensive. I made a video about them when they came out, and yeah, I mean, look, here in Europe, they're $15.99 for the two, for the Sheraton and the Crestwood Custom. No, not Crestwood Custom. The other one, the Zephyr. I think those two are too expensive. And then the Crestwood Custom was what? $9.99, $11.99 here, and $9.99 then for the other one, the Wilshire. So yeah, I think they're too expensive. I think if they were doing something they should have kept, because it's the 150th anniversary, make them $9.99 for all of them. Nobody would have cared. And across the board, same in Europe, same in the US, whatever. As it stands, they're a lot more expensive in Europe than they are in the US, and that bugs me. And there's a lot of issues price wise, but I think they're just testing it. I think there's an awful lot of things we're going to see level off with Epiphone at some point, but who knows? I could go in. I've ranted about Epiphone a lot, and I make a lot of Epiphone content, and to be clear, I love Epiphone. I think they're great. I love Gibson. I want them to be the best guitar company. They're the guitar company I first fell in love with, and the reason I picked up guitar, because people like Slash and some Clapton footage I'd seen and stuff like that, it was, they were all playing Gibsons. Joe Perry, another one, and lots of stuff like that in the 80s and 90s, and then yeah, now that I'm buying guitars myself, I think there's a lot to be said. It's like Gibson are the ones who the most get you're making guitars for dentists and doctors and stuff to hang on the wall, and they don't seem to care about that. But yeah, in terms of the Epiphones, they're getting too expensive, and I hate that, and you talked about it a lot. So anyways, we will, I'm sure, to cover it again, because there's new Epiphone stuff coming very soon. But those 150th anniversaries, I think the ones that are, I think the Sheraton and the Zephyr are too expensive. I'll let them have the other ones. Richard says to Tom, I have give some things to kids summer program here. It is so great when they gig at the end of the term. Mostly when I fill the house, I sell 20 things and get that one special item. That's a great way of doing it for sure. Tom says I used to own a very nice nylon string from Spain. Um, there you go. That's cool. Yeah, if I was to have a nylon string from Spain, I'd be quite happy with that. T says, three Chord Dave, Kerry versus Dublin is right. This is the All Ireland everyone has been waiting for. Two iconic teams in the country, two most iconic teams in the country. For anyone who hasn't seen a football match, two big teams, yeah, yeah. Um, you know, might throw an eye on it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Muddy H2O is here yet again with another super chat because he is a super fan and we do appreciate him so much. Says, hey, all, I'm late but made it. I'd ask if I missed anything, but this is Three Chord Dave's channel, so oh, hey, David. Well, oh, hey, Muddy. Thanks for dropping in to see us. Better late than never, I guess. And don't think we didn't all talk about you a lot last week when you didn't bother to turn up. But hey, it's fine. We're not upset about it or at all. Don't worry about it. Everyone knows I'm just messing. But thank you so much, Muddy H. for joining us. We do love you. You're the fourth or fifth, 100th most loved person in the community. Todd Moore says, Chris, yeah, the new 150th Epiphones are overpriced, just like everything else that says Epiphone on the headstock. Going with a Kramer for that price, believe it or not. There you go. Yeah. Oh, don't say that, Todd. Marshall will start giving out about Epiphone and Kramer again, like she did last week. We don't want that kicking off. Because that was quite intense. It's all good. It's all good. We're all friends. Ryan says, I polished up my greenie and it looks so much better now. Still have a bit more to go and reassemble, but I'll post pics after smoothing the neck too, with some 4K compound. That's how they should be. Awesome, Ryan. I look forward to seeing that because, yeah, the faded kind of look on it, I don't know why they did that, but hey, if you're making it look all nice, that sounds cool. So looking forward to seeing that for sure. Marcia says, I'm here. Don't know if anyone typed anything that I didn't reply to. I just had to fix something. Say it again if I missed it. Todd didn't say anything about Kramer's, don't worry. Chris McCobrick says, Todd, yeah, I am a little put off by the pricing. A few years ago, these were Gibson pricing. The inflation was rapid. Yeah, Chris, I think I said last week, the first Gibson I actually bought was a 2018 Gibson SG Special. Mini humbuckers. Beautiful guitar, loved it, thought it was great. I got it for €599, €599, brand new from Thomann. It wasn't on special offer, it was just that was the price of the guitar. I mean, it might have been on special offer, I don't know. But it was $599 and it arrived 2 days later. It was perfect, it was brand new, wasn't B-stock or anything. It was a great guitar. And I loved it until I bought my other SG Special, which I like a little bit better. But if I could buy a brand new Gibson for €600 in 2018, and actually it was 2019 when I bought it, it's 4 years later, and try and buy a Gibson for $600 now. Not a hope. Not a brand new one, not an old stock one, nothing. They won't let you have them. You won't get one for less than, well, you might find some places that still have the old stock for like 1,000, but you're talking 1,250 minimum most places for new ones. So you're 100% right, Chris. Gibson pricing is now Epiphone pricing, and I've been saying this for 2 years now that they were working towards it. So I'm not surprised, but we will see a lot of other stuff coming. Prices aren't going to go down, not on the Epiphone side. You might start to see it level off a little bit, like $12.99 might become the norm for Epiphones. I don't think they'll keep pushing the 1,500 or 1,600 because those are not selling. But we'll see. It's a long way to go. I think there's a lot of tests and there's a lot of signature models going to come out that are quite expensive too. Richard Clark with the super chat, sir. Thank you so much. Says, why does chat turn colors whenever Muddy shows up? It's because he's magic. Yeah, it's he's not allowed to talk about it. It's confidential, and one of those, because of those, congressional hearings about UFOs. We can't go into it, but that's why. But thank you so much, Richard. That's super cool of you, man. Appreciate it. Scott Bogfoot says Fender versus Gibson. They have to have weekly build-offs, including building each other's more popular models, judging by someone like Joe B with ties to both companies. I mean, Scott, if any business ever did that, I think it would be crazy, but I'd be all in for it. It'd be super great. Yeah, let's get them to do that. Mark Agnesi, if you're out there, do it for your Gibson. The Scene, is that what they show that they do is called? I don't know, but anyway, great stuff. That's another super chat, dudes. Thanks so much. This one from Chris from Coburg says, because he's a rainbow of fun. It's one way of saying it. Thanks, Chris. I do appreciate that so much, sir. And Money H has jumped back in and says, the same reason Dave's face turns more red when he sees me, fear and shame. It's mostly shame, but yeah, thanks, man. I do appreciate all the super chats. That's super cool of you guys, and I love you. Martin says, Chris, I agree, way overpriced. You can get some of the same Epiphone models for a fraction of the price that aren't 40th anniversary, 150th anniversary. But yes, you're right. In fact, yeah, but they've been doing that. I mean, last year they brought out new casinos and then and Sheratons, didn't they? And then they brought out newer ones and they were like $300 more. It's like they got a lot of pricing issues going on. I don't know. They're weird, but yeah. Chris says Kramers are great guitars. We can't say Kramers. Marshall kind of freaked out at Todd last week, so there was kind of an argument going on. We don't want them getting upset. Ryan says, can't miss the All Ireland. We can get it here on demand. Got to get some action on that one too. Yeah. I mean, hey, why not make it a little bit more exciting? But it's a great game. It's always fun to tune into it, and yeah. That's what all of Ireland will be doing tomorrow. Like 90% of the country will be doing. Todd says, yeah, Chris, I'm sold. I remember Gibson Les Pauls for less than $1,000. Now the Epiphone line is past that price point. Crazy. Interestingly enough, like, I mean, at the same time, I can go out today and buy an Epiphone / Les Paul for $5.99 at home, and they seem to just be selling them at that price no matter what. But no one else is selling them at that price. Other places are selling them for $9.99. So I do see some prices for Epiphones not being too bad, but I think it's like on a dealer by dealer basis. And of course you have the cheap ones, and of course the standard models and stuff like that, like Les Paul's 50 standard or whatever, or the SG standards and specials and stuff like that. Those are not crazy money. You got the Epiphone SG special, the P90s, the one that I have that I love. I think those are gone over €400 now, but those are still great guitars. And yeah, there's definitely some still reasonably priced, but for sure, like, they're anything with a signature or a special edition or limited edition, they're just gone crazy with. And I mean, yeah, you're way over what you'd pay for a Gibson not long ago either, as I mentioned, personal experience. But it's the way it is. Scott says, and Scott, I just want you to know, I think you're pitching a great show here, but hosted by Norm from Norm's Rare Guitars. I think if Norm is up for it, I think it'd be great. Al says, hey Todd, I owned a Les Paul for less than $500 back in the 70s. Then a fire stole it from me. That sucks, man. But yeah, that is it's a good price. T says, Sympathy for the Devil, definitely one of my favorites. I love that. I love it. Yeah. And you know, there's the Guns N' Roses version too. So, you know, it's not quite the same, but hey, it's still fun. Ryan says, for the build, I'm kind of lucky because Toronto has a huge number of guys into that. They're a big trade classified forum for parts here on the Guitars Canada forum. Very cool, man. Al says, so I must be older than you, Todd Moore. There you go. But just as cool. Let's just say that. Bug Lips says, brutal, my house burned down in 2018 while I was taking a nap, but I had no guitar gear to lose at the time. Just a pile of cool books I miss a lot. Dude, hey, that's pretty bad too. Some people, and I'm not going to say everybody, or this is a rational thing, some people care about their books more than their guitars. And if you're out there, you know who I'm talking about. So if you're watching, you're probably laughing right now. If you're not watching, then you'll never know. Kristen Coburg says, I don't use Facebook, but what is the link to the TCD page? Thank you. Scott, I'm sure we'll throw it in for you there in just a moment, because he does that, because he's cool. Kristen Coburg wants to check out the Facebook. You can check it. I don't think you have to be signed in to check it out, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't really spend too much time on Facebook, so hopefully you can, though. Marcia says, Todd, you can still get amazing Epiphones for much less. The modern LP is $6.99 MSRP without a discount. Is it MSRP for $6.99? Yeah, it probably is, to be honest. But yeah, those are cool guitars. I like those a lot. Yeah, nothing wrong with those. Had a Marshall 50 watt with a cabinet with 6 10s, says Al. That sounds nice indeed. Ryan says, that sucks. Bug Lips, my dad had a huge book collection. He was a writer / teacher that he loved. He lost a bunch in a flood and was gutted. Yes, indeed, books can be as emotionally tied as charged as guitars can, even though most of us are more into our guitars. But I've a pretty big collection of books right now at the minute as well that I'd be not super attached to, but I would definitely rebuy a lot of the ones that I have at the moment if I was to lose them somehow. Just trying to think which ones. I mean, that one, that's a book there. That's signed by Slash. So yeah, I would miss that one a lot, I guess. But thankfully, touch wood. Hey, wait, that's not wood. There, touch the guitar. That's made out of wood. There is a guitar there, by the way, I promise. Robert is here as well. Good morning, Robert, to you all the way down there in Australia. Says good morning, and good morning to everybody. Hope you're having a great week. Hope your Sunday goes great, Robert. Thanks for joining us on your Sunday morning. Hopefully with coffee, I guess, because it's early in the morning, but sláinte to you anyway. Yeah, great to have you guys from all over the world joining us. It's super cool to see the analytics on YouTube, where you guys are tuning in from. We got people literally from all over the world. We got people in Africa and Asia and Europe and America. Not so much in like South America, probably because we don't speak Spanish, or I don't speak Spanish on the show too much. But yeah, lots of people from all over the place, which is great to see. And yeah, super cool to have folks in Australia join us on our live stream as well. One of the things I do want to do, Robert, by the way, because we do have quite a few folks in Australia watching the channel, is I'd like to do like a more Australian friendly live stream. So I guess someday I will get around to doing it like early on a Sunday morning here. So maybe Sunday evening for you down in your way. But yeah, I mean, I also have stuff going on a Sunday at the minute, so I need to kind of take a break from that to get that set up. So I'm hoping maybe sometime in August to do one on a Sunday morning, see how it goes, see if there's people around, and yeah, so look out for that. Some Sunday evening for you, Sunday morning for me. But I do absolutely super appreciate you joining us on a Sunday morning for you. And thanks for joining us. Marcia says, I did just notice that they bumped the price up for the solid finishes. They used to be $50 less than the figured models. Now they're selling for all $6.99. I mean, $6.99 for that guitar is not terrible. But if you consider, like I said, like 4 years ago, I bought a Gibson guitar for $5.99. That just kind of puts that into perspective. It's like, whoa, it's kind of crazy. Richard Clark says, wait, Dave won't mail me about stuff, so I'm not really getting a pair of dirty socks. Well, Richard, that was a private agreement between you and I. Yes, the socks, 2 pairs of socks on their way to you, sir. Just keep an eye out for them. Punk got guys into Avril. It's an interesting way of putting it, Ryan. Yeah, and there you go. Al says also lost 200 record. Also lost, I think you mean 200 albums. Most that couldn't be replaced. Really miss Steve Winwood anthology album. Oh man, that sucks. That's sad. I hate that, man. No dirty socks. Damn it, man. Glenn, if you want dirty socks, just let me know, dude. I will make sure to get you some, as well as Richard. Scott says the neck is the normal part of building. Wahaha. I don't know the normal part. I'm kind of worried. Anyways, good stuff. D-Max says, just FYI, that I've tried clicking on some of the links in the description, but they break, so the page not found. All right, there could be a case of the whatever product it is has not sold anymore or whatever. So I'll try and update some of them this week. I haven't updated them too often because no one has ever clicked on them. So yeah, I think Thoman links have been clicked a few times, but I don't know how to redeem however Thoman pay me for that, or I think it's like a discount I get or something at a certain level, but I don't know how to claim it from them, and it's been on there for 3 years now. So yeah, and as we know, famously referrals don't go too well on the channel, so it's all good. It's all good. They're there. I'll try and fix them. I'll try and check some of them out. But thanks for letting me know, DMAC. That is cool of you. And I'll check it out. Maybe they'll be working next time. Let's see. Mark says, so there are still great Epiphones available between $4.99 and $8.99. Even the super budget ones hold up nicely with a good setup. But that's the thing, Marsha. $8.99 used to be an entry level Gibson price, let's say. I mean, I bought one for $600, so... And that was a brand new. It wasn't, I'm pretty sure it wasn't like a cleared out. It was just they got stock in, they sold it. It was a 2018 and that was in 2019. So it wasn't too far. Or maybe, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2018. So, you know, it was, now that they're $8.99 and they're core models, it's not I mean, you know, it's not great. And then of course it's the issue as well is that they're pushing the Gibson prices up so that they can push the Epiphone prices up, which I warned you about 2 years ago, but you know my feelings about that. T says, Dave, Gino's has 2 shops, one in Milan. Gianna's taken over from his father. I think they're going since the 60s. Yes, T has sent me a link to these to Gino's in Italy, and some nice stuff and fair pricing. I like their pricing. Very nice as well. It's always good. Chris Goldberg says, we need an Epiphone RD aside from the Lee Malia one. That's like $2,000 or more now. Yeah, I think they have heard a clamor for it. And I'm not going to say they're working on it, but I've heard rumblings that like they have seen that people want one. So if they think they can sell enough, that's all it comes down to. If they think that they can sell them, they'll make them. So yeah, keep putting it out there for sure. Scott from Coburg, that's not right at all. Scott Bogwood says they might be expired links. If Dave don't see the message, drop him an email. The link, if it works, is in the description. If it works, yeah, absolutely. Drop me a link at any time via the email. The email at the bottom of the thing, that'll always work. But the other thing is you can always just send me a message on the Facebook group or on the email. Those are the best 2 ways to reach out to me. Richard Clark says the Epiphone Standard Kit 59 $7.99 is one of the top 3 guitars I have bought in the last 5 years. Most people are very happy with those, yeah, for sure. Still haven't got my hands on one. I'm not a super big 59 fan. That's why if it was a 1960, I'd be like, yeah, let's pick that up. DMAX says, closest I got to buying a higher price Epi was the Epiphone, the Emily Wolf Sheraton in white. Yeah, if they did them in blue, I'd be like, yeah, let's get one. But the thing for that is, I think that's kind of the pricing that they're going to be at. Like, I'm waiting for Dave Grohl's to come out. I think they're going to be $15.99, and I'm kind of pissed about it. But we'll see. When they drop and I'm looking at them, I'm like, I'm going to be like, do I want to spend 1,600 euros on an Epiphone? And it's going to tear me up to actually do it. So I don't know if I'll actually pull the trigger on those, unless I can argue with myself for $12.99, but it's just one of those things. I think they're going to be very expensive, but I think they'll be cool as well. And I mean, obviously didn't get around to picking one up, the Gibson ones when they came out, so would have been nice too, though. And it is a cool guitar, so we'll see. I'm not sure when those are dropping, by the way, but the latest I've heard was that I expect them in the next 2 months. Anytime in the next 2 months. But that was last week. Someone told me expect them in the next 2 months. So that's all I have on that. Scott says it's a community page for viewers of Dave's channel to post questions, pictures, questionable pictures, and stories. Questionable pictures is not what we do, Scott. Not on that group. That's a different group. That's the private group. You got to be invited to that one. There's no private group you got to be invited to. That's just me joking. Buglip says, Ryan, yeah, water damage, a lot of mine, lots of old World War II books and memoirs, some maps, all individually cheap to replace, but shipping on each is merciless. So it would be a fortune. Dude, that sounds awful. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that can't be replaced. That sucks, man. Al says, I bought a 59 from AMS. I asked and got a 10% discount, so roughly 720 plus tax. That's a good deal, man. That is a pretty good deal. Ryan says, sorry to hear that, Bug. That kind of stuff you can't replace. Yeah, that's definitely not cool. Al says, now they're $8.50. Well, yeah, they like adding $50 onto everything these days, don't they? T says, Chord Dave, Keith Richards, when asked, will you ever grow up? Plant a tree on my grave and then I will grow up. Something like that. I've used it myself. I mean, you know, growing up is overrated. I found that out myself. And Richard says to Al, yeah, I got a great deal on one as well. I just assumed they were using MSRP. I didn't know. They just went up, though. It seems like guitars are always going up. Like, they never stop going up in price. Ryan says, how long after Trogley opens his museum do you think it'll be before his security guard cleans him out? Well, I am applying for the job of security guard, so not very long, I would say. Buglips says to Ryan, I did at least manage to save my rare fantasy miniatures. I have some that are one of a kind and a blister pack of succubi. See, I know that word. Worth about $10,000. And where do you keep that, sir? Where is it? In plain sight? Can anybody come find it? Is it something you display? Let us know. Don't let us know. Glenn says, how long can Geek Lord keep guitars in his museums without going through withdrawal and starts selling them? I'm pretty sure it'll be part of his house, and he'll just keep rotating them. I feel like that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun thing. Definitely a day trip to the Trogley's Guitar Museum when it opens, for sure. We're all going to go as one big group and bring some fun with us. Al says, been around the USA and Brazil. New York pizza is the best. I've had pizza in New York. It's been good and bad. So, is it the best I ever had? I don't know. It's been all right. Tom says, I would love to move to either Norway or to Serbia, where all my family is from. Both nice countries. Yeah, absolutely. Norway seems like a nice place, but gets cold in the winter, as I've seen on YouTube. So I won't be. I mean, all of that kind of region gets cold in winter, so I probably won't be queuing up to live there. But they look nice. I think that's why the house prices are cheaper than they are in Ireland, because it gets cooler. Well, I live in Serbia now, but they're Ukrainian. Well, Tom, hopefully they're doing well in Serbia. I believe Serbia is a beautiful country. Never been there, not yet. Glenn says, Martian, that's the first crust. What's the first crust depth on an NY pie? Glenn, that is comment of the week, my friend. I love it. Well done. Great stuff. And Chris from Coburg says, just to toke off for my buddies, toke off of my buddy's vape. It's called BC God Bud. I think I can hear him speaking to me now. What? That's the dog? Just be careful, Chris. I'm glad you're doing all right. Best pizza I ever had, weighed 5 pounds and built like a lasagna. I don't know if that was pizza, Scott. Someone was having you on there. Richard says, did you see a Geek Lord yesterday? He sold an awesome Proto Angus to replace with a regular one because he thought it was better for the museum. I don't even get it. That's interesting. I haven't seen and don't regularly watch his videos. But yeah, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He's got a bajillion subscribers, so that must have been the right thing to do. Sounds crazy, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Ed Axman says cheap houses in Ukraine now. Well, that's an interesting take. I don't know, Ed. Maybe. I mean, you can probably find the listings online. Who knows? Al says, did some of my family is from Norway. I'd move there if it wasn't so far north. That's the thing. It gets chilly up there. Great summers, but winter Indeed, indeed. Glenn says, Richard, he sold that SG after ruining the headstock by leaving bubble wrap on it for too long. Otherwise, he wouldn't have sold it. There you go. There you go. I mean, that's what happens. Scott says, the one with the cake record player, I'm not a big fan. Did I miss something? You're talking about pizza, now is a cake record player? I don't know what that is, Scott. What are you talking about? Al says, winter is dark, too long, snow doesn't bother me. And Chris says, summer is my least favorite season. I have the last set of tools coming next week. Hit me up. I should have whatever you will need. Oh, that's to Scott, because they live quite close to each other. It's not just the general. Everybody can pile in and use your tools. But it's all good. Good to see the community vibes. Dennis Ellis is here, says, hello, Chord Dave. Hey, everybody. Hope everyone is doing good. Great to see you, Dennis. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for dropping in to see us. Tom says, I've been to Iceland a couple times and really liked Reykjavik. Yeah, I haven't been to Reykjavik myself, but I do believe from people I have spoken to who've been there that it is a nice place and you get nice sandwiches. It's literally the best thing. Tom also says, maybe I'll just move back to England. That's a place that exists. I, as an Irish person, have no strong opinions on whether you should do that. It's all good. It's all good nowadays. I lived in Surbiton in the late 90s and early 2000s, and I loved it in Surrey. Cool. I moved to Ireland. Ireland's great, and it's just better than everywhere. So there you go. That's just my strongly held opinion. Buglip says, I didn't have a choice but to work on my guitar. Now I know many new things. There you go. Knowing new things is a good reason to work on a guitar, and also will ensure that you stay at whatever financial level you're at now forever, because you will always be buying new stuff and not have time to buy more stuff. Al says, just got a message from Gibson's demo shop giving me a 15% discount, LP for 2,000 if only. Yeah, they're running a summer sale right now, so they have some good deals. I saw they had some tributes in the European demo shop this week for like $750, which is not bad, I have to say. If you wanted a tribute, cheers. I'm not after Les Paul right now. It's not top on my list, but I was tempted, to have to admit. William Farr says, Geek Lord influences the market with his videos and then flips the guitars for a massive markup. Essentially, when he says, if somebody wants to offer me crazy money. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I find that, I don't know. I mean, here's a good question. Like, if Trogley had something that you wanted, would you buy it from them? If it was, I don't know, some limited edition from 2007, some really cool guitar, I don't know, whatever, your favorite guitarist's signature model that never came out, and he had one, would you pay extra because he had it? Or would you be like, I'll just wait till I get it at a better price? I wouldn't. It wouldn't influence me that he has it. I saw him saying recently, talking about his new guitar program, you can tell people in the future there's a cool video. I'd be like, why? Who's making the cool video? No, I'm sorry. He's cool. I like him. He's in my top 200 guitar YouTubers. Richard Clark says, Exile is the only best Stones album, but many are close. It's close. You are close. You are close, but it's still wrong. I worked in Kingston, Surbiton, and Wimbledon. Very cool. I've been to London precisely twice. That wasn't just true to connect in the airport. Once. I want to go again though, and I was watching Colin's video this week on Guitaristas, where Mike came and joined him, and they did a little bit of business, shall we say. And I was a bit jealous because I've always wanted to go to Denmark Street. It's one of the things I want to do, and if I do go at some point, I'll bring a camera with me. We'll do some videos stuff as well. But yeah, that would have been cool. Go along and check out those stores with those guys. Particularly Colin. I think Colin's knowledge would have been super cool in that area in particular. Scott says, William, that I do believe is his long-term game. No comment. I miss England, but it's so damn expensive. I mean, yeah, it's expensive. It is. Chris McCormick says Exile is amazing, and I mean it's not a bad album for sure. And where has that comment gone? Because I was going to say something about the next comment. Where's it? Oh, YouTube, always screwing with me. All right, where are we now? Oh, I hadn't even got to the super chats yet. That's interesting. Yeah, because we gotta. There we go. Christmas Cobra says, I never knew that about you. Interesting that you lived in England, I think. And let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna. Scott says, my keyboard dropped an F bomb in the chat Thursday night. I wasn't impressed. It was a classy chat where that shit doesn't fly. It's okay, Scott. You can admit it. You just wanted to drop an F bomb. Keyboards don't type F bombs by themselves. It's okay. But you know, everyone gets one, I'm sure. Tom says, when I was in Spain, I tried to learn Catalan, but failed hard. I tried to speak Spanish once and got laughed at. Not by a Spanish person, by the person I was there with. Yeah, she thought my attempts at Spanish were laughable. Which they were, to be fair. That was a good time. Literally the only phrase I could say was, it's 2 beers, please. This isn't a classy chat because I got let in. And I'm 100% the cheap seats. Hey, Bug Lips, this is the classiest. What are you talking about? We're super classy around here. Tom says, definitely not a classy chat if they let me in. Dude, you took us up a level, Tom, so I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was way lower class till you got here. Class is a spectrum. I mean, everything's a spectrum these days. Yo, Muddy H2O, excellent to see you, brother. Says Tom. I saw that comment like a long time ago, so I don't know how far I am behind. We got like 17 minutes on the stream left. So, yeah, it's running by. Let's hope we can get to everything. Let me see. Chris McCobrick says the 40th anniversary Squire are like $200 off right now here in Canada. Those are great. Got one right there. It's a great guitar, and yeah, I love them. So I might even try and pick up another one at some point. Maybe a Strat. I don't know how much I would pick that up. You see, that's the thing. Maybe I should give Offsets a chance. I don't know. Probably not. T says hurling finals last week. It should be on RT player. 1 goal is 3 points. Yeah, 3 goals and 3 points would be 12 points. And our goal is to drink as many pints as we can while the game is on. As always, yeah, for sure. Not that we want to turn it into a drinking contest, but it is. Scott says, Dave, our Parker Fly guitar is nearly impossible to buy at a reasonable price anymore. I haven't seen a Parker Fly for ages, so yeah, probably. MDU 2112 says, I bought a new LP Lifeson, great guitar, but too expensive. I agree. Yeah, man, those are cool guitars. Absolutely. I like the look of them. The finish and everything looks super cool, but I agree with you. They're too expensive, and that's just how it is with Epiphones right now. It sucks that they're doing it especially with the signatures, but you know, that's what's going on. Glenn Bailey says, Muddy, you missed Dave asking us to send him pics. Anything goes. I mean, he sends me all sorts of crap, so he doesn't wait to be asked. That's just what happens. I predict a Epi Whitey 355 for 2025. Hey man, that's a good prediction. And Muddy says, Glenn Bailey, if it's true, I foresee a lengthy Facebook jail visit. It's just no comment. Glenn says, don't forget to kick all those buttons. Just don't blame me if you kick them. Muddy is the rainbow in our little world here. He's certainly something. MDU says Alex Lifeson ES355 custom Arctic White Vibrola gold hardware. That's what the Whitey is. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're talking 2025, 2 years later, another one. That's probably a good shout. To be honest, a super chat again from Muddy H2O, who's, as you know, a super fan and a super nice person. So thank you, sir, for the super chat. Says, anxious for you all to visit my History of the Never Acquired Guitar Museum. The collection will consist of several styles of empty guitar stands representing the guitars Dave has not acquired. I mean, your constant jibes about me not buying guitars is doesn't bother me. You can say that all you want. I don't mind. It's all good. I won't be pressured into buying guitars or taking drugs I don't want to. That's just how I am. I just very much, well, buy the drugs and take the guitars that I want to. And I said that exactly how I wanted to too. Vincent Doyle's here. Great to see you. Vincent says, hi all. Andertons have up to 500 English quid off their Epiphones. They obviously have too much overpriced inventory and maybe panicking a bit. Maybe that is the state. Does it start at the end of the madness? Yeah, I hope so, Vincent. I have seen that, like their Mustaine flying the red one, the Prophecy one. They have that down to like 1,099, and it was 1,599 in English pounds. So, yes, 500 off that one, and a few other ones are, yeah, pretty cool. To see the discounts, and maybe that's it. Maybe they've increased pricing or like margins and stuff. I mean, they've obviously increased margins. But maybe retailers are getting a bit more. I don't know on that side of things, but yeah, they'll have to do something because those more expensive ones, people are not paying the prices that they thought they would, which is good. Glad to see it. Scott says, didn't know he used anything but an LP. Yeah, he's used a few different models. I mean, I'm not the biggest Alex Lifeson biographer, but I know he's played a few different things, but mostly Les Pauls. You are correct in that. Chris from Coburg says, sweet tits, Dave just made $14. Yeah, it's up to 24 now. So, that's like the third best week of super chats we've ever had on the stream, which is cool. We're getting up there. So I tell you what, if we make $5,000 in super chats tonight, I will do next week's show completely nude. So 5,000, that's the goal. We've got 12 more minutes. So everybody apply for bank loans and stuff. Anyways, Richard says, hey, who was that weird tall guy with curly hair on Seinfeld? Ryan says Newman. Yeah, I don't know. Cosmo says Chris from Coburg, and Kramer says Glenn. So there we go. T says, I wouldn't buy an amp unless it got Psionic Audio's approval. I mean, I will probably look into that then when I'm next going to buy an amp. I mean, I am somebody who bought a Marshall Code, so, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to amps. Scott says, usually whomever gets the heads up on a product price decrease will put it on a sale to look good, knowing that it's going to that price eventually. Anyway, rare these days. Quite indeed. Tom says, my nickname was Assman in high school because I got so much time spent on dates with fine ladies. Well, there you go. There you go. What a nickname. Mark says, oh my God, YouTube needs to get over itself. It stopped letting me type. Yeah, you totally weren't in a timeout or nothing. YouTube was clearly trying to censor me. Indeed, YouTube does that sometimes. It wasn't me, I swear. Muddy says to Tom, that was also Chord Dave's nickname in high school, but for a much different reason. You assume I went to high school? What? All right, well, guess it's time for story time. Marcia, are you sure Dave didn't put you in a timeout? Glenn, stop giving away secrets, man. Yeah, for sure. Based on the Forged in Fire Great British Bake Off style, that would have all they have to do is steal my idea and make it happen. I mean, that was a while ago you were talking about that show, but I like it. I like the idea. Ryan says, probably because you smelled like ass, Tom. I mean, I would like to say that. That was not my comment. That was Ryan's. You can't type anything in timeout. Nobody was in a timeout, but Glenn's about to be in one if he keeps giving away the secrets. T says, just realized most of my comments are about sport and I avoided the black card so far. That's only because I know you're getting one when Chelsea are playing Liverpool in 2 weeks. Oh fuck, if the woke crew read that, they will go after the GAA. Yeah, well, we'll just leave that. Let them go after the GAA. That'll be funny. Scott says, anyone new here, welcome. You'll have to subscribe, wait for a minute, and then chat on the best chat on YouTube. Yes, this one. So there you go. Chris McCoburg says, in the words of Prince and Sinead, nothing compares to you and the Chord Dave crew. Slodja. Gotta go walk the dog. Hey, Chris, well, take care, man. And thanks for joining us, as always. Tom says, thanks for these streams, Dave. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for joining us. It's been great to see you the last couple of weeks. Do appreciate you popping in. And yeah, you're very welcome. I love doing the streams. And so forth. It's all good fun, of course. We need to get a show translated into Spanish. There, amigo. Three amigo Dave. I mean, if anyone wants to do that, that'd be fine. For sure. Tom says, does anyone have a single coil suggestion for 1969 Stratocaster? I'm currently using Lindy Frapen vintage hots, and I love them. I just wanted to try something else. Not really in my wheelhouse, the old Strat, so I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure somebody here will know. Muddy H2O actually got himself like a Squire or something recently. He probably has an answer about Strats, but you know, whether you want to listen to him or not is another thing. Yeah, probably listen to him. He's not too bad. And Tom also says, I was thinking of trying some Ron Ellis pickups. Any experience with them? Not for me, no. But someone has, I'm sure. Marsh says, I totally agree, Dave. Gibson had a brand new stock for around 500 plus, but I didn't want people to think that they have zero options. It's not right that prices are all over the place. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, and I was trying to make that point as well. You are correct. They still have, I mean, look, you can still go and buy an Epiphone for like $150. It's one of those low end, what do they call them? I don't know. You can see them in my, it's the single coil ones, the bolt-on necks, kind of very bright colors. But then they have, you know, they go up all the price ranges and stuff like that. So, like I was saying, I've been saying this for 2 years. They have them like $299, $399, $499, $599, $699, $799. You can find Epiphones in all of those price ranges. But the cool stuff, that's over $1,000. Yeah, anything with a name on it, it's over $1,000. Anything limited or special edition, you're getting over $1,000. Marsh says, Epiphone is having an identity crisis with the prices. It's a good point. Yeah, I think so. Marsh says, how is everyone stateside, Marsh? Europe seems to be on fire, literally. I mean, yeah, that's true. Wexford hasn't got that yet, but it keeps raining and then being warm and then raining. And, you know, it's summertime in Ireland. Glenn says, not a lot of Marshall cabs for sale in my area at the moment. There might be some soon. Tom says, it's still doable to find good stuff. I found a 68 SF twin reverb for $600 US a couple of weeks ago. I still want a 58 or 59 bassman. And I really like 65 or 66 JTM 45s. But those are a little pricey now. I personally think the secondhand market's where to get all the deals. There's still great deals to be had out there, and I think there's a lot more to come as well. So, yeah. However, pricing for certain things have gone up. 80s Gibsons of prices have shot up at like double in the last year, which is crazy because they're not the best Gibsons, but the pricing on them has doubled. Asking prices have doubled. I don't think people are paying those prices. But yeah, it's crazy the stuff that's out there for still good money. But yeah, like if you wanna pick up good value, you got to look at the used market now more than the new market. Money H2O says, Tom, I haven't tried those Ellis pickups, but I have only heard great things about them. And Tom says, I feel bad for you guys in Europe that pay high prices for everything. It's more of a recent thing that's happened, Tom, to be honest. Like for example, like say the Dave Mustaines, the Prophecy, I believe they were $15.99 in the US. Maybe they were $14.99. They were $17.99 here, which if you translated it back to dollars was over or just about $2,000. Which I think's flipping crazy. But as Vincent said, they're selling those particular ones now for $1,099 at Anderton's, and they'll take off their VAT and ship it to Ireland. So you get it roughly about that, maybe €100 more on top. So, so you can get deals and stuff like that. But when it comes to like some of the bigger places still selling crazy markup prices, $300-400 extra, and it's only in the last year that that's happened. So it's kind of, it's very frustrating. Hopefully it'll go back to normal stuff. I've been talking to one of the big retailers. I wonder if you can guess who. Begins with a T, ends with a man. I'm hoping that I'll get some more information from them soon about what they're doing. But yeah, they said they've been looking into it soon, recently as well. Tom says, when I live back in England, I would take vacations back to the United States to bring gear back with me. That's one way of doing it. I've thought about doing that a couple of times. Yeah, 'cause Sweetwater has, apart from anything, Sweetwater has exclusives sometimes that I'm like, I wish I could get that here. And haven't been able to. So sometimes it might be worth it. Ryan says, I can see the Dave Grohl going for $2,000 more than any Bonamassa anyway. I think you could be right. They could push that $2,000 mark, and I've been thinking it since it was kind of looked like it was going to happen. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Muddy says, Tom, I really like the Cavalier pickups in my telly. I believe he also makes Strat sets. No experience with them, but maybe something to check out. Scott says, Dave, when are we getting word on the next Joe Bonamassa guitar? Because guitars usually come out in like October. So, wouldn't be surprised to see some word leak out. He might post somewhere online about them in the next couple of weeks. And then I would expect to see them somewhere in September, October this year. But who knows? I can't remember the exact date it was last year. I think it was October sometime. Tom's best deal I ever had was my 1968 100 watt super lead. Paid $1,800 for it. Felt like I stole it. Good deal, man. Yeah, that sounds super cool. For sure. Guys, we're getting right to the end of the stream now, so I'm just going to rush through and see is there anything you guys want me to pick up, or if anyone new has piped up. King Benente says, hey man, best regards from Athlone. Bought a Jared James Nichols Gold top from Jimmy's, and it's honestly one of the best guitars I've owned. Cool, man. That's super cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That sounds great. And yeah, Jimmy's is a cool shop indeed. Hoi Polloi says, you guys complain about Trogley a lot and sound like a bunch of assholes. Hey, that's just like our opinions. You are entitled to yours, sir. Thank you for sharing it with us. We do love you and hope you're having a great day. Scott says, cheers, we're just jealous or assholes. Maybe both, who knows? Good stuff indeed. Let me see what we've got here. Just wrap up. I think that's the end of the chat pretty much. Batfink 2 is here as well. Great to see you, Batfink. I missed you in the chat there for a second. Let's see, where are we now? Tom says, you think of places like Thoman things would be a bit cheaper? Yeah, well, I'm hoping that they're gonna I think that's VAT too, right? VAT should get built into the price, so it shouldn't affect the pricing to the degree of the that it does. I mean, even taking taxes and price and VAT and all sorts of taxes and charges and all into place, they're still a lot more expensive than they should be. Muddy H Show says, what's the Epiphone releasing next week? I don't actually know, so yeah, I haven't got word, but as soon as I do, I will make sure you're the third or fourth person to know, Muddy, maybe fifth person to know. Yeah, but I'll tell somebody who will send you over some word. Let me see. My Bonamassa collection is never complete, says Muddy. It should be at some point. Who knows? One a year, that's what he gets. Glenn Bailey says, thanks, Dave. Good show. Thanks, Glenn. Hoi Polloi does not think it was, and that's fine. I'm sure he's going to go over to Trogley's channel and tell him all about us complaining about him. And I don't think anyone was complaining or saying anything too negative about him. We were talking about his museum today, right? Like, I actually don't think there was any real negativity about him today. So imagine he came most other weeks. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. It's been super cool hanging out with you, as it always is. We'll be back for another 3-Chord Dave live next Saturday, maybe. But we'll definitely be having some videos and stuff this week, so definitely check those out. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back with another guitar-related video very soon. But until then, take care.